Live, Believe Nation, happy Wednesday. Wednesday's my project day. It's super exciting. I get the whole day to work on whatever I want to work on. I've been adjusting my Wednesdays a little bit to meeting with my team for 2 hours in the morning on whatever project I'm working on, and then afternoon just diving deep in. But this is my break. This is my chance to talk with you guys and try to bring some value, and let's see what we can do. I see live, so let's bring them in and see how I can help. Let's go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. And there he is.
Hey, what's happening?
Good. How are you, Mike?
What an honor, man. I'm doing wonderful. I just wrapped up a class at the studio and just cleaning things up right now, taking the extra precaution in this crazy time right now in the fitness industry.
What's your studio? What are you doing?
So Sphere is a soccer-inspired fitness concept. It was after playing professional soccer. I just was kind of dabbling with Soul Cycles and Barry's boot camps and CrossFits. I just really didn't find something that really created a team-like atmosphere. There was nothing that was with the ball. And the one thing that I missed the most after playing was the locker room, the connection, the community aspect of it. I just found myself really struggling to find a relationship, whether that's a friendship, a soulmate, and business relationships. A lot of people go to bars and restaurants and try to, use that alcohol as a crutch. And I think that health is a important part of my life, and soccer being my technical background. I was like, well, I failed out of corporate America 3 times. I figured I'd shoot for something that I was passionate about and work towards, finding something that could bring value to others.
Cool, man. So what do you got? How can I help?
I guess, where do I start? I guess, Evelyn. Look, the first part, just like as a younger entrepreneur, my background is in sports and, playing for almost a decade. I'm very grateful. A lot of my experiences were in relationships and people. I don't think the two translate extremely well. Yes and no. There's a lot of technical ability as an entrepreneur that you have to learn, right? On finances and knowing where to put your energy and how to structure your day. I had structure from a coach that was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Here's practice, and somebody knows how to do. I was listening to some of your parts about a mentor and ask one question, right? Don't disrespect them by asking a ton. And sometimes, for me, I've had a hard time asking for help sometimes because I'm just stubborn. And I'm also guilty because all I know how to do is just work really hard rather than working smart. And obviously this is a, unprecedented time, and I think we're doing a good job of pivoting. I was also, watching some of your analogies with sport, right, and entrepreneurship, and that every sport kind of has that play as an entrepreneur, which I do agree with you, because just like you got to be on your toes, things are going to change. But I guess maybe some early, maybe younger tips. I wrote down one of the books that you recommended, which I'm going to read, that helped you kickstart on some of your questions last night. But maybe just some helps earlier on in the stage. We've been around for 5 years. I'd technically say we've been in business for a year.
We lost him for a second. Uh-oh. Come back, Mike. We're just getting to the good stuff. Oh, wow. Look, it's got some crazy. He comes back in. His internet. Oh, no, he's gone. Yeah, his internet must have died. Anyway, let's see. Let's bring him back in. I don't know what happened. Let's see. I want to hear the rest of the story. Here we go.
I got to pay my cell phone bill, man. Tough
There we
time
go.
as an entrepreneur, huh? No, it was the Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. But no, I guess my first thing would just be, I got a lot of personal questions, like where do you separate yourself in the business? What are some maybe early stages in a business that are really important for structure? A little bit more like big brother advice, if you will, right? Because it's hard for me to point at one thing, because I think I bit off a lot more than I could chew. We have an amazing team. I think sometimes I struggle with where to put our energy and attention to, just because obviously things have changed. We're running a brick and mortar, and we've changed our business model. We just launched our online platform. We're working on our email marketing. We've got a lot of great people on our team, but sometimes I feel like we're doing so many things that we're not doing one thing great anymore. And and then delegating, right? Because there's a lot of players that are working on our team right now that I think I should give more responsibility to. And when I take that step back and say, it might not be perfect, but it's going to get the job done. And where do we keep moving forward?
What position did you play?
I was an outside back. I actually was a center midfielder my whole entire career. And anyways, I hurt my right foot, and I played my whole college career on my left, and then I got drafted. My coach was like, hey, what position are you? I'm like, I don't know, wherever you want to play. He's like, you're left-footed? I was like, yeah. I was like, left side. So I played my whole career on my weak foot. But I ran a lot. I was a service guy. I was an assist. I was always looking to pass and play a role.
Yeah. You're passing the ball upfield to the striker so you can get the goal. One of the things that athletes often struggle with getting into the business world outside is then figuring out how much do you want to be the player coach in this business versus being the striker or being the center back or being the goalie. Like, how much do you actually want to be the guy, the entrepreneur who has to understand the finances and all of that versus being the position player?
I'm okay being the position player, and I think just because of the scale of what I want to accomplish, and that I believe our company is much more than a fitness concept. Like, we're a business that brings people together. That's what we do the best, more than anything than that. I think we're a lifestyle brand, and I think that we're inspiring people to play out of their comfort zone and to really like help them meet and interact on a unique way. But I know my strengths. Like, I'm a visionary. Like, I'm a dreamer. I'm a connector. I'm a technician, on the classes and what that looks like, and then brand of where I hope to see it go. Marketing is definitely a passion. The little details, Google Docs, organization, structure, a lot of those things, I'm good, like really stepping back and saying, hey, like, somebody else do these things, right? Because at the end of the day, I am used to playing on a team. I wasn't a golfer. I wasn't a tennis player. Like, I work best within a team. I think understanding that, hey, I did play one role, and then saying, okay, I know I'm a coach, but there's a lot of really great people that are here, and really just giving them the freedom to say, hey, this is the structure of our company. This is what we're trying to accomplish with it. Go, right? Limited resources as far as cash right now, and not wanting to go raise more capital. There's a lot of great projects that are going that are like turning over, but at the end of the day, right, like, we're still in that phase of like, we have a lot of opportunity. There's definitely a lot of interest that we're getting from other players that are bigger than us that are like, this looks really interesting, but I still feel like we haven't fully identified who we are because we've changed a little bit. And then to our team, just everybody wants to work really hard. I don't think that sometimes they know what to work on at the end of the day. And I think for me personally, I think I struggle with just structure as well, because I'm so used to just going all over the place. I almost rebel against it now. And even in my daily routines of creating a good, healthy structure of getting up, like, I always had practice. I always knew where to go. And I think in a way I just rebel. I said, forget it. Like, I don't even want to, I don't want to like listen to anybody. I want to do my own thing and play freely, but I see it hurting us rather than helping us, and not having a regiment too. So maybe hearing yours, or maybe some recommendations on the team, and, because also not everybody's full time. So I'm also trying to be respectful of everybody else's jobs, like their time and what they're doing and when they are here. And I feel like a lot of ways, like, we're treading water, or we're just focusing on one thing rather than like, how are we getting to the next point that we can grow?
So look at the 4 C's. So you got CEO, COO, CMO, which is Chief Marketing Officer, and CFO. You can write it down.
Yeah, I got it.
CEO, COO, Chief Operating Officer, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, and CFO, Chief Financial Officer. Which of those hats do you want to wear?
I want to say CEO, because maybe my ego.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I know truly like the extent of like, what that all will entail, because I know there's a lot more to it on the financial side, understanding maybe a little bit more in depth of like every aspect of it, which I want to be in charge and involved in. But I see myself maybe more of a CMO in the brand and the direction of the marketing of where the business goes.
Yeah. I think that's good self-awareness. Like, and honestly, when I think of you, that's one side. Like, you're going to be a marketing-driven, branding-driven, culture-driven CEO. The other side is the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, the COO, CFO. I think where you need to be right now is CEO, a marketing-driven, branding-driven CEO, and CMO. And you need to have help on the COO, CFO. And that can be one person. At the size of, I don't know how big your business is, but you probably don't need a full-time CFO right now in your company.
No.
But you need somebody, if you're rebelling against the rules and the structure, you need to have somebody implement those and hold your feet a little bit to the fire. That's still going to be the constant friction between marketing and operations. But definitely in terms of running the structure for the company and keeping things on track so that you can focus on all the creative projects to help build the business forward. Fast forward this to 3, 5, 7 years where you've got franchises or operations in multiple cities and states. Maybe you're not the CEO anymore, unless you really want to learn it, right? Like if you really want to be the player coach and like business is a passion and you want to be the Mark Zuckerberg who's learning it, awesome. A lot of guys who look like you would rather bring somebody in to be the CEO at a certain stage, where you then transition to be the face. You're the guy, you're the CMO, you're the face, you're the one who's out doing all the TV gigs and all the influencer deals, and you're on the YouTube channel. Like you are the guy, you're the brand, but you're not concerning yourself with how do you run, you know, a 1,000-person company.
At what point in time do you make that call or like decision?
You're not there yet. That's still like that's a big financial one, but also just interest, where it's not now just your ego holding you back, but your skill sets and your desire to be that guy. Where it's like I don't want to learn all these things that these guys do. I don't want to go to board meetings and meet these investors and talk about this stuff. Like I want to go out and build. But right now, the thing you're missing is that person to help you on the operations and finance. Whether it's a partner in your business, whether it's somebody who's a buddy of yours, a friend who can come in and contribute. I don't know what your financial situation is like to hire somebody yet. Whether it's even a student who's come through the doors, who's super operationally minded, who buys, like you need someone who buys into the culture, who loves what you're doing, who thinks this is the next Soul Cycle that should go across America, but sucks at the marketing and is not the creative type and never wants to be on a YouTube video. Like the idea of going live on Instagram where like they pee their pants. They don't want to do that at all, right? But nuts and bolts, structure, organization, process, all the stuff that you don't want to deal with, they've got it to a T. Does anybody come to mind who's in your life right now or circle who might be a fit?
Yes, but then it comes down to like how close do they need to be to the business, right? Because I think a lot of times a lot of our teammates have equity or they're part of our company, but like going and finding somebody completely new and bringing them in that, yes, there's a couple people that come to mind.
Think of it as a sport for life, right? Like you think about your best teammates on your teams you are with. There's some people who just had the skill set and you would pass them the ball and they would score, but you hated that guy, or it was like they were really difficult to work with, or they were big, egomaniacs, and you never wanted to hang with them after a game, right?
Yeah, good analogy. Yeah.
You don't want that guy, because this isn't just a contract that you have for a couple of years with one team. You're building this together. This is like you're getting married to somebody. So they have to have the skill set, but also the value set. Like they believe in the mission of what you're trying to do, but they have the value set where you would love to go hang with. There's some players on your team you'd love to go hang with after and have beers and connect with, and you still connect with on the weekends. But that's not going to be the majority of your 35-man squad or whoever people are on the team.
Yeah.
That's what you need. So the guy who's got the mindset of how to do it, the skill set, but also the value set that matches yours, that you look forward to showing up to work and to playing with this guy or girl, every day.
How much learning, like education, were you pouring into yourself, like earlier on, right? And like preparing, like to building the business, and then like connecting and marketing and networking. Like, how would you structure or break that down as like priority?
Once you found that person, that's where you're going to shine. I think you split your time between being the CEO and the CMO, right? That's the left side for you. Like that's where you focus. The right side you're going to give to somebody else. And as the business builds, you might have to make that tough call to say, I don't want to be the CEO anymore, but that's your role right now.
Yeah.
Inside of that, you're looking at how do I manage and motivate and inspire my team, right? The operations guys likely not going to be great at that. They're going to be numbers, introvert, like not necessarily great with people, not rude to people, but not an inspiring rah, let's go, really care about people. So managing and building your team as you scale and grow, a disproportionate amount of your time goes to that. Like
Yeah.
you have to decide if you're going to be an HR driven CEO, that's where most of your time will become. If you get into franchising, most of your time is not running your location. Now you're managing franchisees.
Yeah.
It's just a people business. And you
Right.
might love that, but you might hate that and want to get back to the marketing and the branding and the fun stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I love the people. Like the best part is like our community, our coaches, like the people that are building this business. I mean, that's the best part for me and wanting to be a part of or building a company that was not like Mike Chibala Fitness, but it was Sphere. Like I want to put everybody else first. I just want to be selfishly around a lot of people all the time. Like I want to be connecting everyone, but it's just coming down to, I feel like I spend more time with people and, kind of coaching up and working on that part of it to get everybody on the same page rather than, okay, let me read this book. Let me focus on educating myself on becoming the best CEO possible. Just because, one, obviously we're trying to keep our business going during this tough time and making like necessary changes to keep us moving forward. But obviously understanding too that a lot of my past has just gotten to me to this point, but it's not going to be the difference of becoming Mark Zuckerberg or one of these great CEOs because I know that I have a lot of education and I'm basically starting all over again. Athletics take you so far, but then there's another part of the field or game or whatever you want to use as an analogy that I still have lots to learn. And that's why I think sometimes I struggle. Obviously, I'm like nonstop. Like I don't know how not to stop, right? So just like, okay, I'm going to work till 11, 12. Obviously, I'm 36 now, so I'm taking a little bit more, concern with my health and at this time. So I'm trying to get 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. By the way, how many hours do you sleep?
Last night was 7.5. I'm usually
Okay.
between 7.5 and 8.5.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just the idea of like 4 hours, 6 hours, like, getting up at 4 a.m. It's just sometimes I work late or, it just depends.
It's about doing the right things. No, like the advantage of so many people say, hey, I have to wake up an hour earlier. If you're not being productive in your 16 hours that you are awake, moving to 17 is not going to make a difference when you're an hour, less sleep deprived. It's more about what are you doing while you're awake with the 16, 17, 18, however many hours sleep you need. What are you doing during the waking hours? And whether the advantage that people coming from professional athletics or the military have is the willingness to work hard. Like hard work is so baked into what you're doing. Yeah. That's a mindset shift that a lot of people really struggle with. Like the stuff that you probably do every day, other people would look at and say, like, I can't do half of what you're doing. So the effort level is really high. It's about making sure the effort's on the right things, right? If you're practicing how to throw a ball and you're playing soccer, it's not going to help you, right? So that's why getting that person to help you, because you practicing doing operations and finance is you learning how to throw a left-handed baseball when you want to be a soccer player. Yeah. You're just focusing on the wrong things that you don't care about, that won't ultimately serve the business. The left side that you should be focusing on is team, is marketing, like stuff like this, branding, you hitting up your homies, getting people to come to your classes and check it out. Even what David Beckham did for MLS was bonkers, right? So you could do the same thing of who are the celebrities who could use an awesome soccer workout, and if they post about it or share it, right? And then you're also the product. Like you're the best instructor that you've got right now. You're the one keeping it all together. So you can't just not teach anymore because you're the best right now. That could shift, that could change. You could bring on other instructors, and we might already have some. Oh, we're losing him again. He's back.
I got a phone call. I forgot to put on. I'm such an amateur at this stuff, and I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb, man.
No, that's fine. So so you're the best instructor. Even if you got people under you, for now you're the best instructor. You can't just step out of teaching classes. So those three things, it's like CEO,
Yeah.
HR driven, managing a team, marketing, building a brand and awareness, creating content, bringing in people, and then actually being the best teacher possible, giving people an amazing experience. So when they come into your thing, like, man, I've never seen this before, but that was wild.
Right.
I want to come back and tell my friends.
Yeah.
Right? That's where you're spending your time. That's the best use of time. And you can't be in class. Like, how many hours do you teach a day?
Right now, maybe 6 out of 24, and I'm going out to like we have an online platform, we have an indoor studio, and we're doing outdoor classes just because people want to be outside, and it's bringing in so much more business. And I'm not even really trying to market our indoor facility. I'm marketing our online platform. I'm like, hey, $17, you're gonna get this online platform, you're gonna get free park workouts, like community, and it's like we're like it's moving really, really great. And I think I'm the best marketer for our team. Just because obviously it's when I started, but I think that's my strength. So, and also our coaches, our teammates, they didn't sign up to run park workouts. So like, I'm good doing that, like leading from the front, like I'm going to go to the park, I'm going to go do this and go like lead by example to that point so that they can be under the lights in the AC, like be in the space and in a controlled environment that they're used to and what they've been trained to do as well. It's just discouraging at times because of COVID, because of the limitations that we have right now at 50%. But again, like the model was to create Barry's and SoulCycle locations, but now I'm like, let's just franchise and license this to indoor soccer facilities because, you know, we operate 4 to 6 hours a day. We make X amount of dollars, which could help in other facilities. So rather than us taking on the risk of the lease, all the rest of it, we can just less mills model, right? Like just help train people up and then work on that, which that's the next point of what we're doing. But yeah, I mean,
It's an even easier model for someone like you because the operations doesn't go to zero, but it's a lot less. If you don't have to worry about finding real estate in 20 cities and managing locations and all that, and it's all online, there's still operations. Now it's more a technical operator who understands websites and payment processing and like all of the stuff that happens to build the online portals out and make it happen. Or if you're selling your system that then, you know, gyms can use, and it's a license that they're paying you every month to use your system. You could add marketing support on top of it, right? So you're building a more marketing-driven organization, which is better to your skill sets. But I think the more you can just step out, like if there's somebody who comes to mind who could be that person for you on the operations finance side, even part-time, to let you focus on the other stuff, I think that's a win. And I think also, like the culture is so important to build this up. And so you're giving people a workout and giving them community. Like you said, community 1,000 times in this live. That's what people are signing up. Like nobody's coming to you to learn how to be a professional soccer player.
No.
And nobody's out searching soccer workouts, right? Like the people are coming to you, they're bored of their workouts. They want to have fun. They don't want to just be yelled at by a personal trainer. They want to have fun and they want to meet people, right? I have a salsa dance studio here in Toronto, right? So we teach 5,000 people a year how to dance salsa. Nobody comes to become the world's greatest salsa dancer.
Right.
They come to meet people, to have fun, to be able to get fit. Ours aren't as workout focused, I guess, as a soccer one might be. But still, you're dancing, you're learning a new skill, you're meeting people. So it shouldn't matter for your staff. Like the staff that you bring on should love being outside as well. Like it's not just inside in the studio under the lights and everything. Like the mindset of the ideal instructor for you is about the community that you're building and the experience you're giving your students, whether it's at a indoor air conditioned perfectly cool place or outdoors. You're building a model which I think is great, but that needs to be handed off eventually to somebody else to be able to jump in and do them. Who cares about people? Who nobody's going to have the soccer skills that you have.
Yeah.
You know, the people that you bring on, but it doesn't matter. They need to have the people skills, the community skills, the heart skills that you have as well.
The content's obviously a conversation everybody right now like is. I mean, obviously it's always right. Like I watch your videos, like I've made the best 2 pieces of content, right? I mean, I'm a former professional soccer player. I don't think I've truly identified like my own audience. Like I'll look at like what I post on my personal page, and then I look at Sphere. I think a lot of times I'm regurgitating a lot of Sphere content that to promote, hey, sell this platform, hey, do this. I mean, I'm like, I know that I need to draw the line and focus on how to create value for these people that are watching me, and then at the same time, like, what can I do to like help the business more? And I think that obviously I run most of our accounts, like with the brand and like what we're posting and how it's being communicated and the voice that we're speaking and the language, just these minor details. I mean, yeah, like I know that I shouldn't be answering everybody's direct message, but I am. Like if somebody tags us, I'm like, hey, thanks for supporting us. Like I know that I could probably let that go. Maybe I should to some degree. I mean, obviously I know I should, but I guess my question is separating personal content and business content. And obviously you're trying to get attention in a big market, a lot of people that are on these platforms, but it's like, I was at Grant Cardone's, like 10X growth conference, and it's like, you know, omnipresent, like being everywhere, like all the time, like using social media. It's like reality TV now. Like if you're not making noise and if you're not, you know, being the show, or you're the facilitator, or you're essentially promoting other businesses too. So how much do I turn I don't want to say our business into a show, but like showing more content and on like videos, or separating the two? Because I mean, pretty pictures only go so far, but telling a story. And my last thing is there's a lot of information that I have here that I think hurts us, because I have all these ideas of where we're going to go and what we're going to do, but I don't communicate to like where we are right here, even to our team and the consumer. So like, hey, what is Sphere? And then you'll get, oh, it's this cool indoor concept. Oh, they have this online platform. Like, oh no, it's a lifestyle brand. Oh no, like it's a team concept. Like, I mean, I hear it all the time. And so breaking that down and really starting over to a point where it's like, let's get the basis down, because I can even say like our mission statement's probably changed multiple times over maybe the past couple of years, even as of lately.
That's fine, and that's normal, and that's part of every entrepreneur's growth. Like, show me the entrepreneur who had the perfect mission statement and the perfect plan from the beginning, and it's gone, right? Like it's supposed to change as you get more awareness. That's fine. For content, as much as I love content, I would actually steer you in a different direction. I think it's too long a play. And I think you've got enough from what your background is and what you can provide, that the hack is to not use your platform and build it up. The hack is to use other people's platforms. So where are you based right now? Where's home?
Houston, Texas.
So I'd be looking at, you're lucky, like you're in a giant city. It's like top 10 in the US.
Right.
I'd be looking at whoever the big Houston people are, influencers, having them come and do a workout with you. I want Grant Cardone to come and do a workout with you, you know, if he's ever in Houston, and they'll film and they'll share. Oh my God, I just did this crazy workout at Sphere. You haven't heard of Sphere? I thought it was crazy, but right. And they're creating the content. Like the fastest way is to use other people's networks than to try to build your own. I like the idea of building your own. It takes a lot of time. I think you already have enough to go to market through influencers and partnerships that will just get you there so much faster than to worry about trying to build up an Instagram following. I think what you do is you use the influencers to scale the business, to get attention, to then build revenue for the company, to then hire an internal team to help you run all the social accounts.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we've been really like wanting to focus on or talking about lately is influencer marketing. And, you know, we've done it to a certain degree, but we'll say the whole team.
That's what I would do. Like if anybody who's in Houston, you can go to Instagram and look at just go to the Explore, and you can see who's posting top in Houston right now. And then I would send them a video DM. Say, hey, it's Mike. I run Sphere. Blah, blah, blah. I'd love to do a free workout with you. Check out our page. We've got examples, right? And then as you add more people, we've done it with this person, this person, this person. And it could be somebody who's in Houston, who lives there, who's like born and raised, or it could be somebody who's just in for the week because they're stopping for some conference or something. And they get this cool chance to be able to do this really fun workout, right? Look at now it's, you know, people aren't traveling as much or zero. There are no events, but I'd be looking at, once we get out of COVID, look at the convention centers, whatever the biggest Houston convention center is, and see what events are coming up in the next 2 months. Who are the keynote speakers going to be there? Grant Cardone's coming? Great. Video DM Grant Cardone on Instagram. Grant, here you're coming to Houston. Can't wait to see you. I'd love to do a free workout with you at my, and most people won't see it or ignore it. You're verified, so that helps. It cuts through the clutter on Instagram. And all I care about on your IG is that it's a brochure. It's like, is there enough? If you hit me up with a DM and then I go to your IG, does it look like it's a fun workout? Does it look like something I want to go and try and do? And I'm not so concerned about you posting. It's weird for me to say because I'm the content guy with 6,000 plus videos on YouTube. I just think this is such a faster way for you to win than for you to worry about trying to. Your Instagram strategy is a good 3 to 5 year strategy for your business. You need to do it. It's good. But where you are right now, you could just grow so much faster if the right people were just in your class posting about it.
Yeah. And I think that's a difference too, because of our online, platform called Powa now, where we basically taken the class and we just, Peloton really, we've just now recording it. It's $17 and people can log on from anywhere and do it. So I've been focusing more on that rather than our indoor studio, because at the end of the day, our studio, it's great and it's awesome. We have, 100 something people that are members, but we're looking at getting to new facilities or opening up and try to market to those in those locations rather than our space. So I guess
even your online class, have a co-host, have somebody come in with you.
To the online class?
Yeah, you're going to be in the park doing your class, right?
No, the online platform is literally video our classes in the studio, looks like a spotlight down on the fields.
Oh, I thought you were doing it in a park and you had
no,
watching you online.
Yeah, no, it looks like a Broadway show with one spotlight from a UFO that's down and everything's beat-based and short. So we do it with the ball without.
If that becomes the goal, if that's what you're trying to sell ongoing, it's the same thing of get somebody involved in being on one of the shows.
Okay.
It's a workout with you and whoever. It could be some soccer buddies of yours that you may know. It could be people who are connected to them. Any of your soccer homies, I've been looking at who's following them on Instagram. Who's following them on Instagram, right? So, Grant Cardone follows me on Instagram. You can message Grant and say, I did this speech with Evan. I did this hangout with Evan, right? He knows who I am. Other people have no idea who I am. So great. But you can message your soccer buddies who and see who's following them, who's verified of a certain size, and say, hey, I'd love an intro to this person. I want to do a workout with them. You want that person to talk about what a fun time they had at Sphere. And I don't want to ask them, you can ask them to go off and look at the video and do a workout with you, join your $17, whatever. You comp them and give it to them for free. Yeah. But it's not as good as getting to being around you and having fun and kicking the ball around. And maybe they totally suck at soccer, which is great because a lot of the people who are doing the workouts are not fantastic with the ball skills either.
Right.
It's just trying to figure out how can I have an interactive experience where they're going through Sphere and documenting it for their audience, so they're talking about me.
That's great.
You have enough. You have the heart for sure. You've got a product that works. You've got some connections that you can already start reaching out to, and you've got a discipline and work ethic that can carry this home. To the point before, I think you're just doing too much work on the wrong things.
I totally agree. But yeah. I guess it's just identifying that, right? So if I'm going through and direct messaging you or I'm Grant or whoever that is, that's a good use of time.
I do that over creating Instagram content.
What's that?
I would do that instead of making Instagram content. Instead of you sitting there thinking, what should I post today? And it's just another picture. I would post, imagine Grant's going to see your video. He's going to watch your video. He's going to see, and then he's going to go click on your account. And I do it from your personal because you got to verify. And then what does he have to see on that profile page to make him say yes to you? He doesn't need to see tons of content. He just has to see a couple videos or pictures with stories that make me want to, okay, this guy's legit. That's cool. Yeah, I'll take him up on that. I'm not that far away. That looks like a fun thing for me to do.
Mm.
And then you're spending your time every day. You do a one-liner text, like just simple one-liner, and then a video. Because in their preview, they can't see the video. They have to.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
unlock it, right? So the
Right.
one-liner makes me want to watch the video. And then the video is you, like you're gonna sell it. You and your hat and your pink studio, like all of it. It's great. Yeah, it's great. The energy, and then that's what you're doing 50 times a day, 100 times a day. Like that's where you pour the work ethic into it, the dedication that you're already good at. Because if Grant does it, that's gonna blow up your whole business.
Right. Yeah. It just takes one. No, this is you're spot on. It's interesting because it's kind of like better content, more videos of the business. More people are going to see it, and I mean we've been leaning more into influencer marketing. We've never done it at all, and sometimes I have a hard time like asking for help. Like even my former teammates. I mean, even to this point, like yeah, I'll send them free shirts, but I'm not asking them, hitting up like, hey, can you post about this, or hey, come into the studio. But
just tell them it'd mean a lot. Like you would help them out with something if they needed it.
Yeah.
So you're actually being selfish because it makes you feel good to help them.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Just make it specific. Like, I would love for you to come. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground. I'd love for you to come and do a session with me. If it's somebody who has some kind of audience, or I'd love an intro if you feel comfortable to Rebecca, who's following you, because I'm doing this new thing with influencers, and I want to spread the message, right? Like if it's a specific ask versus, hey, can you help me out? It's like, sure, but how?
Yeah, being specific. Yeah. So then, and then you take away that air, or like you're disappointed because the content wasn't what you hoped, or just being really clear with what you're asking for.
Yeah, that's it's applying your dedication, hustle, all of that to this. And I wouldn't even worry about posting anything on Sphere or your personal. Eventually, yes, you'll need a team. That's going to be the team's job. You can still do your own personal stuff whenever you want, but you will need a marketing team who will help you build all that content out. But you've got too much. It's like you've got a great striker on your team, and you're kicking the ball between the defenders and midfielders who are just like amateur players. You've got this awesome talent. Like you've got a great product, great heart. You've already got connections. All you have to do is start DMing people and get them on your program. That will blow up the company and score you tons of goals.
Yeah.
You're just spending time on the wrong thing. That's all.
So good. I appreciate the time. I know we've gone on a little bit longer. I want to be respectful to it. So I just, if you could, I always ask, someone when I'm chatting, but I think I can always learn from successful individuals like yourself too, because I believe success leaves clues. But you've given me a lot of power, a lot of good coaching tips. If you were in my shoes, right, like flip the roles around, I think you've already given me maybe something that I haven't maybe asked you because I maybe don't know the right question. What maybe one thing would you tell me to go work on, or something that I could take away that I could go and go kind of sharpen up on my own, or maybe take with me from this?
Honestly, just those two things. Like find the partner or person, part-time, whatever, to do the operations and finance stuff that they're great at, and it frees your time and your mental energy about thinking about that stuff. And then spend all your time being a great teacher and creating a great product, and going off and doing the marketing and getting people involved to talk about your brand. Like that's all you have to focus on.
Thanks, Coach.
And then spend 12 hours a day just doing that. Right? That's it. It's super simple, right? It's like do these drills. That's it. Wake up, do it again tomorrow. Wake up, do it again tomorrow. Like for a guy like you, that's super easy. It's just you're pointing in the right direction and get going. You're in Houston. I mean, this would be such a slam dunk if we didn't have Corona right now.
Oh, I know.
With just all the people coming into Houston, so many people come into Houston for different events and conferences, right? And they're always looking for something to do. Now you're kind of restricted to who's actually in the area right now, but still, it's Houston. Like if you said you're in the middle of nowhere, Idaho or something, it'd be a lot harder. But you're in Houston, man. This is easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always I mean, this is really helpful just to like get specific, because it's easy when a coach is like, hey, go do that. I'm like, oh, I'll go get it done for you, coach. Like, no problem. I think where I struggle as an entrepreneur is just lack of direction for, you know, because I see many fires. I'm like, put that one out. All right, let's go do this one. All right, you know, and I'm plugging holes and I'm trying to figure out how do we get more money? How do we stop losing money? But at the end of the day, it's just having that structure and goals. Like, of course, like I want to take our brand around the world. Like I want to connect the world. I want to bring people together, blah, blah, blah. But that goal is great, but then breaking it down so that I can have, okay, this is our first benchmark. How are we going to hit that team? Okay, great. And of course, we've got to bring new people on. And also just, when do you spend money on that marketer, or when do you spend money on this, you know, CEO or COO or somebody else that maybe isn't
When
part
you're
of the
making
team
money,
right now?
when you're making money, like when you start making money, then you start looking, how do I invest this back into building the ongoing brand for my company? Like, you don't need to hire somebody to do your social media right now. You definitely don't need to go hire a CEO to go scale this across, you know, America. It's you getting it on, like 50 to 100 DMs every single day to people who are in Houston right now and eventually who are coming to Houston. That's your marketing plan. That's it.
Love it. You ever play any sports?
I did a lot of soccer, man. Soccer was
Did
my
you?
thing growing up. I was defense. I played back. But yeah, I won a whole bunch of soccer trophies. I was never good enough to go on and do anything. But
So
yeah, soccer was my go-to growing up.
yeah, I find so many analogies like with sport and business now because of, I mean, obviously that's all I know, but I constantly talk to my team like we're on a field. I'm like, all right, like new practice day. Okay, what's the goal of what we're trying to accomplish? And even for
Yeah.
myself, just constantly evaluating my performance week by week. And I think the one thing I struggle with too is just getting down on myself or being hard and looking at like, man, we're not making enough money right now, or like, am I being a good teammate to the rest of the players that are in the locker room? And you know, just constantly trying to figure out, even for myself, like I got to be the cheerleader to plug everybody else up, right? And having a good soulmate or, you know, significant other is important, or that good surrounding team. And I feel like, so I mean, obviously, like I signed up for it in sports. Like you're willing to give up everything else for that one dream. But you know, as you get a little bit older, you start appreciating the finer things in life, which people, relationships with your family and friends. But you know, just being the difference of like turning on and off and knowing whatever the word balance might be, and you know, just being smart with those 16 hours, not 17, right? Or like, is that next couple hours really going to make a difference in what you're doing? That's why I always like hearing like what the morning routines are, or what gets you going that sets your schedule up. Are you pretty regimented though, like every single day, like this is how you get going?
Yeah. Yeah. Morning routine, super regimented. But also, like, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about like the 18 strategies that you took home from 10X. And I love Grant, right? But like every speaker's going to have their own thing.
Yeah.
This is now, it's just like working out. There's 1,000 different things you can work out, and people stress out about it and then they don't do anything and they feel like a failure, right? This is now a customized workout plan for you for what you're going through that I think Grant would say the same thing. Like you can
Right.
talk to him about it. So what Beckham did for MLS, you need to find the guy to do it for Sphere.
Find the last part.
What Beckham did for MLS,
Oh.
you need to find the guy or girl to do it for Sphere. MLS was already a good product. Now that Beckham comes in, great, yes. But it was already a good product.
Yeah, the
Right?
back. I mean, yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
It was already a great product.
Hey, well.
So you've got a great product. These people don't know about it. So that person to come in and be the Beckham for Sphere. 50 to 100 DMs, one-liner text, and a video every day. Go get your Beckham.
Do you have a and on the, because obviously they just like that one liner, do you have any tips or anything that you'd recommend? I mean, obviously I have a few ideas, but anything that you come across or something that might be like a click?
I would just play with it. I think it's really just, I think the fact that you're verified makes a huge difference to getting people to open it. It's just, do they see it? You know, do they see it? The bigger they are, the more their messages get buried, because you're going to be on the requests, so the more it'll get buried.
Right.
Just play with it. Like,
I will.
whatever you're feeling in the moment, do it. Play around with it. See what gets responses. See what gets opened up. Like, if you see that they saw it, right, but they didn't write back, okay, tweak it. Different video. Yeah. Inject some humor. Inject some fun. Think about what makes people come alive inside your studio. Like, you're not just there teaching them how to dribble and how to kick a ball, right? It's energy, it's fun, there's humor, there's play. Come up with a whole bunch and just see what feels right, and then what ends up actually working.
Evan, man, thank you so much.
That's the plan. Don't stress out about what the perfect one line is. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Like today, 50 to 100 DMs.
Hey, I'm on it, coach. I'll do 100. I like to make sure to do it. You know, if I 550,
let's go. Let's go.
Why play average, man? You know,
let's go. I know it, man.
You gotta go.
Cool,
you gotta go for it, right?
Good luck. I'm cheering you on.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care. Cheers.